Hello and welcome back to my channel, and as you can see we are gonna have a go at Car Mechanic Simulator 2018. Now I would not call this an actual simulator really, I would say it's more like a game. Well, to be honest, all simulator games are still games, god damn it. Well, if you know what I meant, but this is the game I actually never played before, and since I do like tinkering with my cars and my favorite pastime activity is taking my car to the mechanic and crying to him what I broke in my car while trying to fix it, I do believe I have a pretty good chance of at least know what I'm looking at here. So, this game kind of looks like it's focused on American vehicles more than the German or the Japanese market ones, which I'm more familiar with. But at the same time, I do believe I'm able to repair an American vehicle. How hard it is. I need whiskey, bacon, and a gun, and everything else just comes in pairs. So let's just go with it. We're gonna go with 4K ultra settings obviously, and I tried to launch it and I got into the tutorial stage, so I quit. So what we're gonna do is start a new game, and I'm gonna show you why this is a game for people who never repaired the car before. This will teach you things. For those who are repairing cars for a living, I would kind of, tell you to maybe steer clear of this game. Let's just, let me show you what I mean with this. So, when it comes to simulators, there's quite a few of them out there. The PC building simulator probably is one of the most popular ones. There's the train simulator, obviously we have the lorry driving ones as well, or Euro truck simulators. And car mechanic ones are, well, quite notorious, really. So apart from the greeting where they tell us what and how and why, the first thing is, before you can move anywhere, you need to learn everything about the items around you. So let me demonstrate you. You will see a thing, and it's gonna explain you what this thing does and how it works. So first off, please do take your time and actually learn how to do things with every single piece of this machinery. Because if you will skip over that, the game will pause you like this all the time. So what I decided to do is just walk around and let the game run its course by telling me what each item is for, which will actually help us a great deal in the future once we're actually gonna get into all of these things. Now obviously for those who are doing repair works on your own car, you will probably look at this and be like, well, this is very self-explanatory, and I can agree with you, because again there are things like this where you just you can change some things for your car in a driveway. You can go and help your friends out, or you can go to a mechanic shop, rent a lift, and fix the things you need. And it's a great learning curve. I mean, everyone should be able to at least know how to repair certain things on their cars. And the best thing to do is actually get someone to show you at least the most basic stuff, like how to change oil, how to change your brake pads, which probably applies more to, I would say, older cars than the new ones, because unfortunately for the new cars, specifically when it comes to brakes, there are things like you cannot just reset the brake service interval without a scan tool, or you need to know the correct procedure of finding the secret menu, so to say, to reset the code, or you need to just code in brake wear sensor, if it's not taking it or not giving you off the light or the service light. And again, each vehicle is different, and YouTube and Google is a lot of help when it comes to it. But at the same time, end of the day, who's got time to know it all? Probably nobody. So what we have here is not our main garage, okay? I was very happy that I was seeing all of this, like the welder, the engine crane, and things like this, but it's not true. So apparently we're gonna be thrown into a little tiny poor man's version of a garage. So let's see how we get out. So tutorial, finish test track to complete tutorial. So we're gonna go for the test track. we're gonna select a car. So this car is called Mayan M3 AVD, and you can clearly see it's an Audi, okay? It's not an M3. The only M3 I'm aware of is a BMW. And when you try to take this car out for the spin, it says no oil in the engine, cannot perform this action. Now I'm gonna spare you the details, how I know this, but I can straight up tell you, if you come from a car mechanic background or you do stuff with your own car, do not, I repeat, do not spend your time, preferably don't spend 20 minutes walking around the shop, finding the oil can and trying to bring it over, okay? It's not how this game works. Let me show you how it works, and this is very important. You kind of need to dial it down in your knowledge. So this is the car that apparently has no oil in it, right? We can open the hood, and this is where the thing actually starts. So obviously what we want to check is how much oil this thing actually has, and this is where it gets the fun part. You need to find the dipstick, take it out. As you can see, there's no oil in it. I know what's the problem with this one is, there's no oil in it. And you would go like, okay, I need oil. All you actually have to do is unscrew the oil fill plug, and voila, it gives you oil. I spent 30 minutes walking around the shop when I was launching the game just to see if it works on Windows 10, trying to find the damn oil, okay? I actually went and I used the computer to order an oil filter because I thought maybe I can order oil filter and oil to do an oil change or add oil because there's no indication that this has been done before. You need to dial it down, okay? You need to look at the things a bit more simpler than that. So we're just gonna add oil to this bad boy, and obviously since we do not know how much we need to put in, we're gonna be checking it out from time to time to see are we actually able to fill it up with the oil. So as you can see, the oil, well, I'm not gonna talk about how the oil looks, but we still need more oil. Obviously the controls are a bit odd, and I'm not saying at any point that I'm using it the right way, but it is how it is. And at this point I am pretty sure, I'm 99% sure that we're on the money here when it comes to the oil level. I think it's good enough. You know, okay, it's not good enough. Let's be honest, it is not good enough. We need a little bit more of the glug glug oil. Just making sure we do not overfill it, because those who actually work with cars, you do know what happens when you overfill the oil, which is not a good thing. Right on the money right there. Our oil filter is actually right there, accessible from under the car on lifter. I think I just removed something. Oh no. Oh no, 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 no. Did I just remove the radiator hose? I think I just did. Okay, where is the, see the radiator housing, radiator A. Okay, I think we should be good now. Okay. Yeah, perfect rookie mistake here. Anyway. oil is done. I put back the parts I took away. Let's check for leaks under the vehicle. That is a shadow, not a leak. Looks fine. Also, this definitely is an Audi, but as you can see, it's 3 diamonds rather than 4 rings. And this apparently is our project car. The rims look nice, apart from this one. And yeah, I think let's go and take it out for the test track so we can get the game rolling. So yeah, key points to take away. Don't overthink it. It's way easier than you think. Okay, test track. So here we can actually drive the car. You can change the view of the vehicle if you want. And the car driving is a little bit not the way you would expect it. So they did try to go with the physics module, very similar to the Beam and G drive, I would say. But at the same time, you know, again, if you crash the car, you'll have to repair things, so try not to crash the car. But in general, this is just kind of like a shakedown track. I never tried to crash the car in here, but since this might be my car, because I might be driving a car like this, at least in the game, then I don't want to risk it. And here we are. So that was the tutorial portion. So again, learn from my mistakes, don't overthink it. Do the very basic things required. So here we are. I got to this point and I gave up. But now at least I know what I need to do. So since we know all of these things, we don't need to learn from them again. So this is basically exactly as in a PC building simulator. You have a place, you start taking orders and you work your way up. So this is your one scissor lift with very basic tools that you can do the jobs for. So how do you get the jobs? You call the matrix. And what do we have? We have the brake problems. Repair with minimal parts condition 100%. So brand new parts. And there is something with the brakes, so we shall take that. So here's the thing, even though this is a rust bucket, as you can see, we need to take this car over to the scissor lift. I spent another 25 minutes figuring this out because you can open it up and you can actually sit in it. So what do you think? You think you're gonna drive it, right? So we start the car. It kind of starts with... or it doesn't. Okay, it started. You cannot drive it. You know why? Because there is a thing the game does not explain you. You can use the right mouse, at least on a PC, and move the car to another location in garage. You see where I'm going with this? Don't overthink it. What I was doing before, I was trying to push the car, I was looking for a jack stand, to lift the car up a little bit right here, to check the brakes and do them myself. Do not overthink it, okay? Take it with a bucket of salt when you play this game. You just select it on a scissor lift. Boom. Okay, so you might say I'm cheating a bit because I played this before. At the same time, I do believe this is a little bit more valuable than for you watch me 20 minutes looking for an oil and discovering you just take off the oil cap, or B, watching me 20 minutes looking for a car jack, trying to push the car, ripping off the door, ripping off the bonnet, and then discovering in a rage quit moment that you have an alternative method of moving the vehicle. I think you might prefer a little bit of cheating here. Okay, so first and foremost, obviously what we're gonna do as a good mechanic, we're gonna check the status of the thing. which is we need to verify the state of the brakes, which usually is just the brake calipers and the rotor itself. And as you can see, this does look quite sad. It looks like the car's been stationary for a while. When we look at the life of the brake pads themselves, at least the front ones, there's plenty of life in them. So with my amazing expertise, I'm telling you, we just need to replace the rotors themselves. So what we're gonna do, obviously, is we're gonna take off all 4 tires first, and we're just gonna go from there. So you might be asking, why am I taking off the rear tires? Because the cars do have brake systems on all 4 wheels. Usually it's either drum brakes or something else, and we're gonna inspect the surface. Looks rusty, crusty as well, and again, looking at the pads, I would say the pads are pretty decent, so no new pads required, at least in my opinion. Obviously, you are free to tell me I'm wrong, and probably you will be right, but if there's any pad life, I don't wanna touch it really. Now, obviously, getting used to the controls will take the bunch of your time, but at the same time, it is how it is. So what we've known so far is we have 4 bad brake rotors, and we need to replace them. Now, here's the fun fact again. What you would usually do, you would go and order them. That's what we're gonna do as well. Since this is the only vehicle we currently have, it's not gonna be too hard for us to find it. So we're gonna go with brake disc ventilated and regular ones. So front usually uses ventilated discs. So we're gonna take 2 front ventilated, and we're gonna take 2 rear not ventilated. Unless you're working in a sports car or supercar, which is roughly, I would say, anything above 200-250 horsepower range, I would say. They kind of start putting in rear ventilated discs and front are drilled, or maybe all 4 are drilled, depends if you're driving a Porsche, for instance. I would say we can get away with 2 front ventilated, 2 not ventilated. We don't need the calipers, we don't need any of this stuff, and I'm very happy to see a caliper cylinder actually being an option for us to replace. So again, what you would expect is, if you order the parts, that you need to go and find the parts. Don't worry about this, the game does it for you. You already have the parts. So all we need to do is actually take off the rotor. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna focus on this part here. We're gonna take off the caliper. Now you might say, hey, how come? Where's the caliper bracket? Why didn't I need to take that one off? Because you just don't. Then you will probably ask me, hey, where's the rotor retaining bolt? Which usually is the number 6, a little tiny bolt that pushes off the brake rotor from the actual hub. That's none there. You take it off. See where I'm going with this? So yeah, now obviously the way I'm doing this is incorrect in a lot of ways. First and foremost being, I'm not working on one wheel at the time as I should. And the second thing I must say, do you really think I care? I wouldn't leave. If I had a garage where I can afford to have a lift, a scissor lift, and I can just work on my own car, like, honestly, I would probably do even worse than this. Now, it's not all as bad as you think, because in my mind, this still kinda explains you the very basic car parts, or how the car is built. So, you know, if you're looking for a very simple tutorial or just a fun time-killing thing that will eventually give you a little bit more information about more pressing matters. Let's say like how to change a turbocharger, how to change a turbo, what needs to come off, what can't stay on, and you can recognize the car that you're working on. I think you're pretty much good to go. So you know, at this point, it is not really that bad. So okay, so now we need to put things back on. Switch to assemble mode. Said me, myself, and I do not know how to access my rotors, because we should have rotors first and foremost. So we do have the brake disc ventilated and things like that. So let's see if we... No, I don't want to sell them. I would like to install them. So I wonder how can you do that? Hold up. Part mount. There we go. It's a ventilated one, absolutely correct, sir. And now we just need to add the brake pads, which are surprisingly even wear, which I would say the front should be a little bit more than the back. Let's put on the brake calipers, which surprisingly are again exactly the same. Okay. Are you sure we want to install brake caliper and brake caliper cylinder? Well, not really. Can we just install the brake caliper? Okay. You know what? I'll play your game. I'll play your game. If I took off the caliper and then I removed the cylinder for whatever reason, fair enough. You got me for that one, I guess. That's a ventilated one. Absolutely correct. Let's add in the brake pads. Let's add in the brake caliper with the brake cylinders in them. Looking good for the front. Let's do the same on the rear. Now, I wonder if they say that the minimum parts longevity was supposed to be 100%, but brake pads at 70% is not that bad. Now, I do know that there are people who will say, hey, but you know, if you change the rotors, you should put brand new pads on it, and I do agree with it. At the same time, we're trying to save the customer a little bit of money here. I mean, the brake pads are definitely not the most expensive part when it comes to it. But end of the day, maybe he's really on a budget, because if we look at this car, this car could use a little bit of love, which is a bit more expensive than the brake pads. So end of the day, it just is how it is. Gonna put the tires back on. Surprisingly, we didn't even touch the brake fluid reservoir because depending on a car, sometimes it's a bit worthwhile to open the brake master brake cylinder reservoir, I would say, to relieve the pressure when you push in the caliper piston. But again, and this is when whoever works in a car, you might think about it and go like, hey, well, so that's not a thing. And I can tell you straight off, that is not a thing. So don't waste your time trying to figure out that if you need to do it and how you need to do it, because you can't even take off the cap of the master cylinder, to be honest. Or the master brake reservoir, whatever you call it. I don't even know what it's supposed to be called. I know that the master cylinder is there. Right there. Brake pump. Well, okay. Which is still the master cylinder, but hey ho. You get what I'm telling you, right? I mean, it's not like I'm talking magic here. So, let's see if our repair has been successful. And if yes, great, and you have seen how this game actually works. And if you want to take it for a spin, I think this job is complete. Repair with minimal parts condition. 50%. What about this? Repair with minimum parts condition 59%. Which ones of these have we actually done? Okay, you know what? I am now not sure about this. Whichever I took. What are you? Tell me. I think we reached 60% with brand new rotors. I mean, even if the pads themselves were like, what, 70%? I mean, that's definitely way over that. Okay, let's take the order. Make some space near main gates. Okay, so we can actually park the car in an area next to us, which is... Okay, let's do this real quick. This is 241 kilometers. Oh. And we did completely not the thing the customer asked us to do. I looked at the brakes and I thought it's for this, but as you can see, the faulty parts found is the air filter, the tires and the fuel filter, and he wants us to change the oil. Well, and as you see, boys and girls, this is the reason I do not run my own garage, because I just ripped off the customer with good intentions, saying his brakes were terrible. And we fixed something that apparently did not need it to be fixed, and that's basically how it goes for this game. Remember to read, don't be like me. Anyway, that's all I have for you guys today. I hope you learned something new, and if you're interested in games like these, look them up, give them a go, and enjoy. So, at this point, I'm gonna wish you to have a wonderful day, weekend, life, and thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.